Hi everyone, again my name is Samantha. I am a Girl Program Specialist with Girl Scouts Western PA, and today for our virtual patch program we will be doing magic tricks, which I'm super excited about. So as always, when we do our patch programs, we'll do three things. We'll discover, we'll connect, and we will take action. For our discover, we are going to be learning about a famous female magician named June Horowitz. Then we'll connect by learning how to do some magic tricks. And these come from a YouTube channel called What's Up Moms, if you're interested. And then we will do our take action, which will just to be putting on a magic show for those in your household, your friends, your family, and teaching others how to do these magic tricks so they can have fun too. And I think magic tricks bring a lot of joy to people, so I'm excited that you guys will be bringing lots of joy to those around you. Okay, so for our discover, this comes from the American Museum of Magic, and we will be learning about June Horowitz. So June was born on September 12th, 1913. Her father, Abe Warsaw, was a magician and taught all of his children magic. While all of them were involved with magic, only June maintained it as a lifelong pursuit. June began learning magic as a young girl, and by the age of 12 had become an apprentice of sorts to her father. Eventually, she was able to make money with her magic, and it was her magic that helped her to pay for her education at the University of Michigan. Her magic also played a role in meeting her husband, Sam Horowitz. While the full story is still a mystery, it seems the meeting involved sleight of hand and a sugar cube. I'd love to know more about that. June went on to pursue a career in education and was a math teacher at Ottawa Hills High School, Grand Rapids Junior College, and Marywood Academy in Michigan. If anybody in the comments is from Michigan, I'd love to know if you know of any of those places. She would use her magic to help her teach math, and many of her students pursued magic themselves. Even though her career was in education, June was still very active in magic and received many honors. She was also one of the few women in magic and stood out for that. She was awarded Best Female Magician in the U.S. and England by Madrigals and was one of only 2 female magicians to ever perform at the Society of Canadian Magicians Convention. So she was definitely one of the only women in that field, which is really cool. June considered herself a close-up magician, which we'll be doing a lot of close-up magic today. And although she had done and could do stage magic, she preferred close-up with smaller groups of people. This method also posed a challenge not encountered on stage, as the audience was closer and could more easily observe what the magician was doing. She also did television performances, including a 6-week stint as the character Queen of the Elves. She did so much in her life. She's very interesting. June was a member of many organizations, including serving as a moderator for the Panel of Americans for 8 years, serving on the board of the Welcome Home for the Blind, working with the League of Women Voters, serving on the board of the Tuberculosis and Emphysema Society, and being involved in MENSA, which is the High IQ Society. So she was also very active in her communities, which is super cool. She was also active in Temple Emmanuel. She became its first woman officer in 1952 and wrote a book on its history in 1954. So she was very active in her Judaism faith. She was her temple's historian, served on the board of the National Federation of Temple Sisterhoods, and presented on Judaism to other faiths in the community. So again, very active in her communities around her, which is really awesome, as well as being one of the only female magicians. She was also active in magic organizations, including the International Brotherhood of Magic. In 1987, she became the first female president of IBM, the International Brotherhood of Magic. So it's super cool. I'm going to see if you guys have any comments. Yes, she is a super cool lady. Someone says, us girls rock. Absolutely. I think it's so cool that she was one of the only women in her field. It was really male dominated, and she kind of broke that barrier. So very cool lady. Okay. So now that we've learned a little bit about her, the next thing we're going to do is our connect, which is to do our magic tricks, which is what I'm sure everybody has been waiting for. If you know any of these magic tricks already, I'd love to know in the comments. Oh, somebody is asking, was she a Girl Scout? I don't know. They don't mention that. But if anybody can find out, that would be super awesome. She sounds like a Girl Scout. She's very active in her community and does so much good. So I would love to know if she was a Girl Scout. So we're going to be doing a couple magic tricks. I'm going to show you them first, and then I'm going to teach you how to do them. I know the old adage goes, magician never reveals her tricks, but today I'm going to reveal my tricks so that you guys can learn them too and put on a magic show. And I think magic just brings so much joy to people. It's so fun. So I'm happy to share what I've learned with you guys so you can do it too. So again, let me know if you've done these magic tricks before or if you know of any additional ones. If you already do magic or if you're brand new to magic, let us know in the comments. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is a disappearing and appearing toothpick. So I'll show you it first, then I'll tell you what you need and how to do it. So you can see my hands are completely empty, nothing in them. I'm going to make a toothpick appear out of thin air. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There it is. Where did that come from? Right out of thin air. And if you know how I did it, I'd love to know in the comments too. Give me all your guesses. How did I do it? I'm going to make it disappear, just as I made it appear on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Where'd it go? It's gone. Crazy. And I didn't drop it. I know that's your first thought. I promise I did not drop it on the table. I'll make it appear again and disappear one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's the disappearing toothpick. So, some of you might have already guessed how I did it, but how I did it is that it is taped to the back of my thumb. That's it. Super easy. And it comes off super, super cool. So I'll show you how to make that. I'll take this off. It was just taped to the back of my thumb. Super simple. So to do this trick, all you need is a toothpick. So I have a bunch of toothpicks here. I have these fun colored ones. I'll go with a red one. And these are pretty long, so if you have permission, some people are saying amazing. Jasmine said you tape it to your thumb. Yes, you were correct. It's a little delayed, so your guesses might come in before I see them. But yeah, people are guessing it's taped to the back of your hand. Yeah, awesome job, guys. You're too smart for me. So I'm going to take a toothpick. This one's pretty long, and I don't want it to stick out like at the end of my thumb, so I'm going to cut it a little shorter just to make it easier and the right length for behind my thumb. That looks about right. And then all I need is some tape, which I have here somewhere. There it is. And you want to make it clear tape so you can't see it. Just a little tiny piece will do. I'm going to stick that to the bottom of my toothpick, so the end with the little fish is my top. So I'm going to stick it to the back of my toothpick. And I don't want it to stick out of the end, so put it right on the edge of the tape there. And then I'm just going to take my thumb and I'm going to tape it pretty close to the top. Better. I'm going to tape it pretty close to the top of my thumb, but I don't want the end of the toothpick to be showing over the top of my nail. So it should come right to the edge of your thumb here. And you're just going to tape it to where your thumb bends. So you don't want to tape it over your knuckle, because then it won't bend and you won't be able to grab it. So just tape it at the top part And if your tape is showing on the opposite side of your hand, this was a good size for me. But if some of your tape is coming around, you might want to take it off and cut a little bit of the ends of the tape off so you can't see it. But that's all it is. Just taped it to the back of my thumb. And you can't see it when I'm like this. But then I bend my thumb in and wrap my fingers around. And there it is. But I do it super quickly, so it's really hard to tell where it goes and where it comes from. I'm just taking my thumb, bending it inside, and wrapping my fingers around. Just like that. And that's my disappearing toothpick. Pretty simple, right? But comes off pretty cool. And we just mentioned in the comments, if you need some more time to work on it, or you need to rewind and watch it over again, you can always do that. You can pause it, and you can play again whenever you're ready, and the video will pick up right where you left off. So that's our disappearing toothpick. So my next trick is called the appearing coin trick, or the multiplying coin trick. So for this one, I'm going to have to bend you down a little bit. You can see I have 2 paper plates, and I have one with a coin and the other one is empty. And I'm going to give it a little shake, and now there's 2. How did that happen? There's an extra coin now. Let's try it again. And now there's 3 coins. Super crazy, right? They appeared out of nowhere. Started with 1 and now there's 3. 3 coins. But there's a simple trick to it. Let me know in the comments, how do you think I did that one? And magic takes a lot of brain power, and you can come up with your own tricks by just being creative and coming up with your own ideas, so I think it's super fun. How do you hide it if someone is looking at your hand? For the toothpick one. You always want to start out, have it taped before you see them, and then keep your hands like this, and then do it and undo it, or maybe you could keep your hands to your sides. You want to make sure that they can't see it. Some people are saying they know how I did the multiplying coins. So it looks super cool, but it's actually pretty simple. Someone says hiding between the paper plates. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. Do you have any other guesses? I'll give you a second to guess. I think I might be going too fast. I'll slow down. So for my appearing coins, I have little pouches created underneath my paper plates that I put my coin in, which I see that some of you are starting to guess. Yes, that is my appearing coin trick. So what you'll need for this one, you will need 2 paper plates, and I think the best way to do it is if you have paper plates with an edge that doesn't really flip up. It's kind of a flat edge, so those coins can slide back and forth. And then you'll just need a piece of paper. I just have this white piece of printer paper because I think it matches the bottom of my plate, so it's harder to see. So you definitely want to pick a piece of paper that matches the color of your paper plate. I just went with white. And we're just going to cut out a little square. And it did take me some time to get a good size where the coins would fit, but it wasn't super easy to see and they couldn't fall out super easily. So just about this size. See it next to my hand, maybe about a palm-sized square piece of paper. And we're going to do 2 of those. Some people are laughing. I was very surprised at how simple it was once I realized how to do it, because it looks so cool and it's really a super simple trick. So 2 square little pieces of paper, and then I'm going to tape them onto the back of my plate. So I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to tape it sort of to one side. It's hard to see, it's all white. I'm going to tape it sort of to one side so that it's it's not too far away, it's not too hard for the coin to slip out. So I'm going to tape it to one side. I'm going to tape one edge down. Then I'm just going to bend it up slightly to create kind of a pocket. So I bent it like this. And I'm going to tape that other side down. And then I'm going to take one end and I'm going to squeeze it shut and tape it down. I'm just going to kind of squish it, maybe fold it a little bit so that one side stays down and one side has a little pocket, just like this. I'm going to tape that down nice and secure. Make sure all the openings are covered so it can't fall out one side or the other. And I'm going to take a coin. I used nickels because I thought they were a good size. I'm just going to slip it in that pocket. And it did take me some trial and error to see what size pocket was too big, what was too small, because I wanted it to easily pop out to the other plate, but I didn't want it to come out too easily so that it fell out too early. So you might have to do a little trial and error. Oh, that might be a little too tight. You might have to do a little trial and error till you get the right pocket size. I might have to tighten this one up a little bit. But take your time, figure out what works best. Let's add a little extra tape on there. Push it in a little farther. There we go. So yeah, it'll take a little trial and error till you get the right pocket size. But let me use a colored piece of paper on the back of the other one just so you can see a little better what I'm doing. But you want a piece of paper that matches the color of your paper plate. So again, I'm going to move it to one side so that it sticks out easier. I'm going to tape down one end. Then I'm going to push it up to create a little pocket. Make sure you're using clear Scotch tape again so you can't see it. And push this up just a little bit to create a little tunnel here. And you're just going to push down one side, just like this, and tape that down securely. You might want to add some extra tape so it can't slip out the end or out either of the sides. Okay, so I've made another little pocket, just like that. I can slip my coin in there. And again, you might have to experiment with the sizes of your coins and the sizes of your pockets to see what works best. I think I need to tighten this pocket a little bit. It keeps falling out. There we go. And then you want the pocket, the side that the pocket's on, to be facing your paper plate so it doesn't have to go too far to get onto the other plate. You put one coin on top of one of your plates. This one just doesn't want to stay in. Hold the plates, push it this way so they both go on, and push it that way. Oh. I really need to work on this pocket. It keeps falling out. But that's the basics behind that trick. I think the construction paper worked a little better. So I might need white construction paper. We got 2. And we got 3. Simple as that. So it looks super cool, but it was super easy to do. Someone says they can't wait to trick their mom. Yes. It was very fun showing these off to my family. There was lots of laughing involved. Okay. And some people, I did have a comment that it's lagging a little bit. So if you're having trouble viewing it, whether it's on my end or on your end, we'll have this video posted afterwards, which we've mentioned in the comments. It'll be posted on Facebook as well as YouTube at our YouTube channel. Just search GSWPA on YouTube. So if you're having trouble, it's okay. Don't worry. It'll be available after, I promise. Okay. So let's see what our next trick is. I have 3 more. I think the next one I'm going to do is our appearing cloth trick. So I have this ordinary tube, completely empty. You can see all the way through, right? I can even stick my hand in there. You can see my hand. Nothing in there. Nothing's taped to the top or the bottom. It's just a completely empty tube. And on the count of 3, we're going to make a cloth appear. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Where did it come from? It was completely empty. Crazy, right? Super, super fun. I wish I had a colored cloth because I think that would be even more fun. But this trick is also super simple. It looks like just one tube that I can see you all the way through, but in fact, there are 2 tubes in there, and one is slightly smaller on one end. So I'll show you how to make that one. So for this, my mom will be so shocked. Yes, I love to see people's shocked faces when you do magic tricks. Some people are super smart and they can figure it out, but I think it's worth a shot. So all you need for this one is 2 pieces of construction paper, both the same exact color, because you don't want it to look like there's 2 tubes. And then you're going to make the first one into a tube, just like so. Just like this. Then I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape it together so it's in a tube. I have to add a couple pieces of tape so it's nice and secure. Okay, and I'm going to take my second piece of paper, also exactly the same color so you won't be able to see it. I'm going to make it into a tube shape, and I need it to be able to fit inside my other tube, so I want it to be a similar size. It can't be too big because it won't fit inside the other tube, but it can't be too small because you'll be able to tell that there's a second tube in there. So you might want to make your tube and then stick it inside your other tube and then sort of let it go so that it fills the space. So there's 2 tubes inside there. Then I'm going to pull it out slightly and I'm going to tape it so I know just how big to make it. And so I pulled it out slightly. I'm going to tape it on this end. I'm going to keep pulling it, add some more tape. Because I want it to be able to fit inside, but it can't be too big because it won't fit. And it can't be too small because you'll be able to tell that there's 2 tubes. Someone was asking for the last trick. We have to use 2 paper plates in this trick. Yes, you'll need 2 paper plates to go back and forth. Okay, so now I've got it to the right size. I'm just going to take the one end. I left it untaped. I taped to about here, so this end isn't taped all the way. And I'm just going to tighten it a little bit. So that this side is smaller. So I'm just going to pull this end and make that a little tighter. So it kind of looks like this. I'm just going to pull it towards, and then I'm going to tape it down. And you might have to finagle it a little bit to make it right. There we go. So I've made this side a little smaller. You might have a little pouch that sticks up here, so I might have to tape it down, sort of finagle it a little bit so that it's the right size. So one end of your tube is going to be slightly smaller just by pulling the end in. And we might have to tape it down because we'll have little pieces sticking up. And you might want to cut your paper too to make one of the ends smaller if that works better for you. But it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to be able to see. You won't be able to see it too well since it's the same color. So I'm going to slip that back inside my other tube. Again, takes a little finagling. There we go. And you might want to take a little piece of tape and tape the two pieces of paper together on the end. Make sure it's a clear piece of tape so you can't tell that it's taped. So from this end, it looks like it's one tube. You can see all the way through. But from the other end, it's smaller, so we've created a little pouch in between. And then you'll need a real thin cloth. I just used a tissue, and I used white because it kind of matches the color of this, and you won't be able to see it through the construction paper. You won't be able to tell that there's another color in there. So it might be fun to use blue construction paper and a blue tissue or something like that. So I'm just going to stick it in that little pocket. Make sure you can't tell it's not bumpy or anything on the outside. It's not sticking out. So now, and magic does take a lot of practice. So I just learned these recently, and it took me a couple of times to sort of get the hang of it. But the more I do it, I'll get even better at it, and it'll be even harder to tell what the trick is. So if you don't get it right away, don't worry. It does take a lot of practice and a lot of sleight of hand to get the hang of it. So again, I have two pieces of paper, but it looks just like one tube since they're the same color. You can see my tape here. So if you want, you can use tape. Make sure you use clear tape if you do, so that you can't see it. That looks like one tube, but when I flip it around, there's two tubes, and there's a little pocket because this end is slightly smaller. And then I show them that it's completely see-through, there's nothing in it, it's only one tube, it's just an ordinary tube. And then I pull out the cloth, and it looks like it came from nowhere because you couldn't see it. So that one's super fun and super easy to make. It's just paper, tape, and a tissue. Like all of ours have been, these are all super easy to make, just household objects, lots of paper and tape that you're using. Okay, so that's that one. That's our appearing cloth trick. So our next trick, which I think might actually be my favorite, is called the disappearing coin. So let me bring my supplies over. Okay. So for this one, I have my ordinary glass, a piece of construction paper, and a coin. Make sure you can all see. So you can see the coin is there, but I'm going to put the cup over it. I'm going to make it disappear. Ready? Here we go. I got this. All right, you guys. Put this over. Da-da-da-da-da. Ooh! Oh my gosh! It's gone! What happened? The coin is gone. It's not under. It's not in my lap, I promise. I didn't drop it. Where did it go? Alright, let's see if I can make it reappear. Get all my magic together. Oh my gosh! It's back! Where did it come from? Alright, let's make it disappear and reappear one more time. Here we go. Gone. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. How did I do it? Let me know in the comments. Let's try this again. Using all my magic. Ooh. It's back! How did I do it? So fun. Let me know in the comments how you think I did it, but I think this one might be my favorite one because I couldn't figure out how they did it either. Oh, somebody already guessed it. You guys are too smart for me. There is, at the bottom of the glass, a piece of construction paper, the exact same color as this construction paper. So, when I put my glass over my coin, it looks like it disappeared. But there's actually just construction paper covering it. And because it's the same color, it looks like there is an extra construction paper. Isn't that cool? And again, it's super easy, but it looks super fun, super cool. So for this one, all you need is a clear glass. I use these fun little ice cream glasses. I have another one here. And then you'll need 2 pieces of construction paper, and they need to be the exact same shade. So I have 2 purple pieces of construction paper. You can see I already cut out one. So make sure they're the exact same shade or it won't work. I'm going to take my glass, turn it upside down, then I'm going to take a pencil. I'm just going to trace around the outside of the glass so I know the exact size, just like so. I don't know if you'll be able to see the circle that I drew. And then you're just going to cut that out. And I would recommend making, when you're cutting it, to make it a little bit bigger, because you can always cut off the excess if you need to. But try to cut it as close as you can. Someone says they're so shocked. Someone says that's my favorite one. Yeah, I think this one is the most impressive one, especially if you don't know that there's construction paper on the bottom. I think my family enjoyed this one the most too. Okay, so then we're just going to take a glue stick and make sure you have an adult's permission to tape your construction paper to your glass before you do it, because you don't want to ruin any glasses. I'm just going to put some glue on the outside edge here. I'm going to carefully take my cup and set it on top. Glue it down nice and tight, and you'll want to use a clear glue so when it dries you can't tell that it's glued. That looks pretty good. I might take my scissors and cut any of the excess. Again, make sure you have permission. You might need a parent's help or an adult's help with the scissors. But it should be pretty hard to tell that it's glued, especially when it's on the same color construction paper. So it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you can stick it on there. It looks just like that. And then I put the other piece of construction paper. Remember, it should be the exact same color. Put my coin on one end. put my cup on the other end, and now that it's against the paper, you can't tell that there's paper glued to the bottom because it blends in. And then I'm going to take my hands, and you want to use your showmanship. You want to really sell the experiment, or the magic trick. So you're going to take all your magic, put it over your cup so you can't tell, move it over to cover your coin, and then release. And it looks like you just made the coin disappear, when in reality, you just have paper glued to the bottom. But it definitely looks like there isn't paper glued to the bottom. And you just use your magic again. You want to use your showmanship. Cover the glass so you can't see. Move it over, and it reappears. Super fun, super shocking. You get that shock value, and it's super easy to do. Just make sure you have permission to be gluing paper to your glasses. Okay, so I have one more trick, but I need an assistant, so I'll be right back. Okay, so my sister's going to come give me a hand, just a hand. In this one, we're going to be doing a classic card trick. So she's going to pick a card, and she's going to show it to you, and I'm going to look away, close my eyes, so you know that I haven't seen the card. So I have an ordinary deck of cards. They're Steeler cards, because we're big Steeler fans in Pittsburgh here. It's just an ordinary deck of cards. Can you confirm it's ordinary deck?
It is an ordinary deck.
It's an ordinary deck of cards. Nothing different about these cards. I think I even have some jokers in there. Just my Steeler cards. So, I'm going to have her pick a card. Okay, I don't want you to show it to me. Go ahead and show the camera. My eyes are closed, I promise. Go ahead and put it back. Okay. And then I'm going to have her cut the deck, which means just split it in half. Okay. So, I want to figure out what her card is. I'm going to use my, I think our twin telepathy and figure out what her card is. And then not only that, but I'm going to make it float out of the deck. So let's see. Let me see if I can figure out what your card is. I think it's that. Alright. I think I've got it. Are we ready? I'm going to make it float out of the top of the deck. I'm just going to give it a tap. Here it comes. Is that your card?
Yes.
Is that her card? Yay! Super fun, right? How did I do it? Let me know in the comments. Thank you, assistant. You did a great job.
Thank you.
How do you think I did that one? Classic card trick. We've made it even float out of the deck. We've added a little extra touch to it. Any ideas? Any ideas in the comments? Any ideas? This one I think was probably the hardest one. Because you got to try to figure out how to know what card they picked. Someone says I used my finger. Yes, that is correct. That is how I made it float. Jocelyn thought you were great. Thank you so much. I think it's really all about the showmanship. If you really do your best and make it fun and interesting, I think people will enjoy it no matter what. Okay, so let me show you how to do this one. So again, it is just an ordinary deck of cards. I promise you that. There's nothing different about this deck of cards. So I fan them out. and have her pick just a random card, and it can be any card. So I'll just pick a random one, and this is the 9 of diamonds, and it can be any card. So while she's picking that card, I've split my deck into 2, just like this. I've cut it in half, and the card in my right hand, I'm going to look, it might be backwards for you watching, the screen might be flipped, but in my right hand, I'm going to look at the card that's in that hand. So I have in my hand the 3 of diamonds. So I know the 3 of diamonds. So then she's going to take her card, I'm going to tell her to put it back on the top of the deck in my other hand. So she's going to slip that in the deck. Then I know this is the 3 of diamonds. I'm going to put it on top, and when I flip it over and look through, I'm going to know that my 3 of diamonds is going to be the card right after her card, because I put it right on top of her card. So when I flip it over and look through, I'm going to look for that 3 of diamonds that I had in my hand, and once I see it, I know that the card right before it is going to be her card. So I can even have her split the deck, which means that she can, like she did, she's going to take it and split it like this. And that doesn't matter because my card will still come right before her card. Wait, yes. My card comes right before her card, so her card comes right after mine. Does that make sense? So the only way that wouldn't work is if she just so happened to split it right where the card was, where she put it in. So there isn't a high chance that that will happen, but it could happen. So you'll be careful. If you don't get it right, that's okay. So you might not want to have them split the deck just because there is that small chance that they split it right where you put the card. But they shouldn't. There's a very small chance. So hopefully they don't. Then you're just going to look through the deck. And I'm going to look for my 3 of diamonds because I know that's my key card that I had in my hand. I'm just looking through the deck for my 3 of diamonds. Okay, so I see my 3 of diamonds, right? Oh, I'll be able to see. And I know that the card right before it is going to be the card that she picked because I put my card right on top of hers. So her card comes right before my card. So I see the 3 of diamonds. I look for the card before it. I slip that out. Woo! More easily than that. I slip that card out and I put it on the back of my deck, just like this. And if you want, you can take the card here and flip it over so that you can't tell which direction the cards are facing. Then all I'm going to do, once I know which card it is, I have it at the back of my deck, and I'm going to go like this and make it float. I'm just going to stick my pinky out, that it will be facing this way, like I did for you guys, so you won't be able to see that my pinky's out, but I'll show you now so you know how to do it. And I'm just going to push up, just like this, and the card rises out, and it's the card that she picked. So all you're doing is sticking your pinky thumb out, tapping it with your top finger, and sort of sliding it gently out. So this is the card I picked, the 9 of diamonds. And I always have trouble remembering if the card they picked comes right before or right after my card, the card that I looked at. Their card comes right before your card, the card that you know. So I just have to remember before. So that is that card trick. And that's a pretty simple card trick. A lot of card tricks sort of work that way, where they know one of the cards in one hand, and it's just right after the card that you put in. So if you know how to do that, then you know how to do probably a lot of different card tricks. You could even come up with your own card trick if you wanted to. So that's that one. So now that we've learned, how many tricks did we do today? I believe we did 5 tricks today. That is our magic trick patch program. So thank you guys so much for joining me. You've earned your magic trick patch. We will link in the comments where you can order that patch. If you had any trouble with any of the tricks today, this video will be available on Facebook right after we're done here today, and it will also be up on our YouTube channel. Just search GSWPA on YouTube, and you can take some more time to create the things that you need for your tricks. But all that's left to do is your take action, which is to put on a magic show for the people in your life if you would like. I think it brings a lot of joy to people doing magic tricks using your showmanship. We got a lot of laughs when we did it with my family. So you can do that, and you can also teach someone how to do a magic trick so they can spread that joy to others. So that's it. We've discovered, connected, and we are going to take action. You've earned your patch. Thank you again so much for joining me today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.